days of the internet, a podcast did arise. A trio of loons with cigars in their eyes. They've invaded the world with their smoky surprise. The Cigar Loons, they're oh so wise. Lunatic invaders of the cigar world, spreading smoke and laughter, their stories unfold. From the finest lips to the wildest tales, the Cigar Loons never fail to prevail. With their witty banter and infectious glee, they've captured hearts, you see. They're more than just smokers, they're a family, united by cigars, a brotherhood free. Invaders of the cigar world, spreading smoke and laughter, their stories unfold. From the finest lips to the wildest tales, the Cigar Loons never fail to prevail. They've got the knowledge, the passion, the flair, a podcast powerhouse beyond compare. So light up a stogie and join the affair. The Cigar Loons are always there. Lunatic invaders of the cigar world, spreading smoke and laughter, their stories unfold. From the finest lips to the wildest tales, the Cigar Loons never fail to prevail.
What's up?
Oh,
Oh, I don't care
I
what
felt
you
like
say.
I was at a concert.
Yeah, I don't care what you say. That right there is a number one. I don't care what you say. Better put our stamp on that one so we get all the royalties. Somebody be trying to run off with that one. Wait and see.
Right.
Well, of course. Good evening and welcome to everyone. We are live, of course, from the United States and, of course, the United Kingdom in England. And we welcome you to this episode of the Cigar Loons Back Porch. And, of course, how are you all, guys? You all doing all right? You all had a good day? Had a good Labor Day yesterday? Of course. Okay, go with you first. Did you have a good Labor Day yesterday? I know you doing.
Yeah, I was working. No rest for the weary.
How about you, Jess? Did you have a good Labor Day yesterday?
You know, to me, it was just another day. You know, holiday, no holiday. I'm home every day, so I did what I do every day. I got up, I smoked a few cigars, and did some stuff.
Yep. How about you, Matthew? How was your day yesterday?
Not a bad day at all. Spent some time with the in-laws, did that family thing.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Did you recover from
didn't
your
get a
hangover?
whole lot done. Yeah.
Did you recover from your hangover?
I did. It took me a minute, though. I don't know if you saw how much I ended up drinking, but it was...
Oh, I heard.
Oh, brother, I saw a lot because I was there till 6:30 watching.
I know,
And I was there in
you
the
saw
comments,
all
and
of
then I
it.
was there live with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Jesus.
But it was a good life. It was a good life, of course, with the Cigar Misfits, and we did have a good time. But Grumpy, how was your day yesterday? Did you have a good day yesterday?
Yeah, too many hamburgers, but yeah. Nice, quiet here at home. You know, just
Yep.
the way I like it, uneventful.
Yeah, you can't beat days like that, can you?
No,
Eventful days.
no.
Of course, what's everyone smoking tonight? I've pulled out, of course, the Christoph Vengeance, and it's Connecticut Broad Rubber. It is a Toro, Indonesian binder, and of course, Nicaraguan and Dominican fillers. And I've smoked this a couple of times, and it's a revisit. But that's my cigar, so of course. Grumpy, what are you smoking tonight? And then we'll go to Matthew, then Justin. So, Grump, what are you lighting up, my brother? And what are you smoking tonight?
Well, it's a little breezy right now, but I'll get it lit. CAO, it's the MX2 Maduro Connecticut broadleaf. I'll get it out in a minute.
Yep.
Indonesian. I think it's is it Indonesian binder? I believe it is, and it has
Yep.
it has Dominican, Nicaraguan, Honduran, and Peruvian filler.
Nice. Sounds a good cigar. Of course. Matthew,
They
what have
are.
you pulled out
They
for
are.
tonight, my brother? And what are you smoking?
I have a Drew Estate Unico Series Feral Flying Pig.
Oh,
Very
okay.
nice.
Pretty little piggy.
And Jess, what have you pulled out for tonight? What are you smoking, my brother?
I have an Immortal Black from Esencia,
Oh,
and this is a Maduro Habano wrapper on this guy here.
Yeah. Of course, that was made for the cigar shop by Essentially, of course, from the cigar shop. It's one of the lines, of course, that they do for. But of course, Kurt, what cigar have you picked up tonight? I know, of course, you showed us just before we went live. What have you pulled out?
I've got a Dunbarton Tobacco Stillwell Star. Excuse me. This is the number 22 aromatic. This was the original, the holiday edition that they came out, limited edition, a few years ago, but they've since put it into regular production. The only difference between this one and that one, this one does not have a sweet tip. It's just got a regular tobacco tip on it. But it's a Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, Mexican San Andreas binder, and it's got pipe tobacco inside. It's got some Cavendish Burley and Virginia pipe tobacco, and it's very delightful.
Nice.
do you get a discount for
That's the
no?
thing.
You get a discount for no sweet tip? Seems a bit cheap
No,
to
I
me.
think you probably. Well, this is it's a little bit more expensive than I would want to pay, but they're good.
Fair enough.
That's the thing, you know something. It depends on what you want, and it's different. Of course, that cigar having the pipe tobacco in it and having two different pipe tobaccos. Of course, we know with Don Barton and Tobacco Trust, Steve Sacker did do a lot of work, of course, with pipe tobacco before he started making cigars, and he did mix the two together. And of course, you got the likes of the cigar that Kurt's smoking and different ones that are out there. But of course, we're sitting, we're going to chat tonight and have a laugh and talk about his cigars and stuff and everything. But of course, we're going to bring up the sad news that's just happened. And of course, Mocha and of course Dominican Republic, which is of course Universal Cigars. Their factory went on fire on Monday. in the early hours, of course, of 6:30, as it was announced on Half Wheel. And a lot of tobacco lost Connecticut broadleaf in there. Of course, they do supply to a lot of major companies, like, of course, the likes of Arturo, 20 different ones. They're not a cigar maker, but they have a lot of tobacco there, and it's a shame that it's gone on fire. And this isn't the first time, of course, guys, that we've seen something like this happen. Of course, Fuente lost a lot of tobacco. We've seen, of course, Perdomo lose a lot of tobacco. Different tobacco companies that have had fires that have happened and lost. How would you cope if you were a cigar maker and that was, of course, your tobacco that had gone on fire? How would you see past that event and how to move forward? Because it's got to be hard now for them to think that some of that tobacco was probably well-aged tobacco, and they've lost that for any future line of cigars they were going to make and sell. How can you get back on your feet from that? So, Grump, we'll go with you first. How do you think you could get over that if it was like to us? I know, of course, they're in for a hard time now, and they've got to, of course, do it and they'll get there eventually. It's just, damn, what a blow. What a blow straight away.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is once this passes and you're able to, they're going to have to assess and see just what they do have left and what volumes they have it left in, and then just they're going to have to just reformulate. I mean, that they may have to. They may have several that they don't have a lot left, that they may have to incorporate those lots together, to make something viable. There may be, several. There may be several very, very unique limited editions could come out of something like this. I mean, because of having to throw things together, so to speak, for lack of a better term. But, there's going to probably be things that they'll have, saved more of that will give them some longevity in a few things that those things are involved in. But, I'm sure that while it will take decades and generations to fully get back on their feet and recover from something like that, I think they're going to be very innovative, very creative. I think they're going to get with it. I mean, it'll be a setback. It's going to be. It has to be. But I don't think they're going to let it kick them too hard.
Yeah. No. Of course, Matthew, I'll go over to you next. How do you think they're going to cope with this and, of course, being back on the feet with everything?
Yeah, I mean, luckily, like Grump said, they'll have some product probably that they can be creative with and put something out. And I mean, this is a natural product that grows every year, and they'll have to, hope for some good crops, and pray for some good crops.
The hurt though
Yeah.
on all of that really is the aging. The tobacco that if they've lost aged tobacco, you can't get those years back. That's the hurt.
Yep.
No. Yeah. And that's your biggest one, isn't it? If it's been of course for so long. But hello and welcome everyone, of course. But of course we'll go up to Kurt and then we'll get, of course, Jesse's take on it. But Kurt, what's your take on this? Of course, that article that's come out and
Well, if I'm a
of course, the cigar factory going on fire.
if I'm a cigar brand or manufacturer and I'm buying tobacco from this company, that'll teach you not to have all your eggs in one basket. You got to have multiple suppliers. You got to have a backup because stuff like this happens.
Exactly.
If you
Yes.
know, for that specific company, I mean, file the insurance claim, and you're probably gonna be buying some tobacco for a while, to fulfill their orders and their, but it's hard because it's not that, they're very intimate and they know that tobacco that was in there. They're buying stuff. I mean, it's a tricky thing. So, you know,
Well, it's one. It's one of 8 buildings. It is one of 8 buildings that went up on fire, and that building just specialised in Connecticut broadleaf, in Pennsylvania broadleaf, and it did say that there is no cause of how the fire happened listed, so they still don't know how the fire happened in the building, which is crazy
well, if it
because,
was
as we know, anyway, with Connecticut broadleaf, it's so hard to get. It's so hard to get. But okay, say what you were going to say, my bro. Sorry.
So I mean, if it was all Pennsylvania and Connecticut broadleaf, I mean, so obviously it wasn't grown there, so they've purchased it, had it shipped there, so it may not be as big of a loss. If they can get reimbursed through insurance, just a matter of being able to replace it, be able to find that tobacco, because like I say,
Right.
is at a premium. So it may not be as bad as it sounds, but who knows? You don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Of course, we'll go over now to Jess and get Jess's take on it. And what do you think, Jess, about this? Of course, with the fire happening and it's happening at the cigar, for Universal. Jess,
You're
you need to
muted,
mute yourself,
muted,
man.
my bro,
Jeff.
because you muted yourself.
Big Daddy Cool, you're muted.
Yeah, no, I think that Universal has done so much with so little from the very beginning. Um, you know that I think that they're going to be okay. Uh, you know, they lost the building. They're going to have to spend some money on that or insurance and whatnot. But at first I was thinking to myself, when I read the article, was like, oh man, oh, this is going to affect prices. And it still may. You never know. But I think what's really going to save them is the fact that they're not a farm. They don't grow. They buy, they sell, they trade, and I think that's really what's going to save the fact that they don't grow it. It's a thing where it's like, damn, that sucks. Now we got to spend some more money and buy more. But I think it's good. They're going to do
Yeah.
just fine.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're hoping, of course, no one was injured, and I know, of course, in the article it does say there's no one was injured. And of course, the fire service responded quickly. It's just hard to see, and like I say, we keep seeing it's happening to different cigar companies where, of course, they do lose a lot of tobacco, and it's a big knock, especially when you think of the whole process to grow it, and then, of course, to get it, put it in, of course, the barns, so it can ferment and everything, and of course, get them different flavors that we get in the tobacco. It's just a loss, and like I say, we already know it's so sought after, and it's so hard to get. Pennsylvania broadleaf, of course, that's a little bit easy to get, as we've been told. But it's just an absolute not. But of course, hello to the leaf cutters, and thank you for joining us tonight. And everyone who, of course, is watching on YouTube and Instagram and Rumble. We had a great Labor Day, and of course, just sitting, shooting the beans and everything. But of course, Matthew, we'll go to you now, my brother. On Sunday, after drinking all the whiskey that you drank, my brother, were you in the doghouse?
I, I was sort of in my own doghouse, just because I woke up feeling like absolute crap. But no, the wife was asleep already by the time I came upstairs at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I was able to stumble in quietly, unnoticed. So, and it was a
Mhm.
stumble.
I went bad. I'm like, oh shit, that's a late night. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
But it was a good night.
it was
You
a
did
late night for
something.
me.
Oh yeah. Of course, we were live on TikTok, and of course with Cigar Man Tom and some of the other guys that joined him on TikTok, and it was just a good laugh. Of course, Kurt was there, Jesse was there, Matthew, grumping me, and Grumpy past his bedtime. Grumpy went to sleep. So Grumpy, you did well for staying up that late, my brother, didn't you? But you might have been asleep in your little corner.
Gonna be like
behind the
that,
cornwall.
all. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. I occasionally I venture
Well, no.
out.
But no, it was a good time, and that's the thing. It was a good laugh, and we got meet new people. Of course, how is everybody feeling about next week's show? So, of course, we've got the makers of the Viva La Vida and also the Al Pulpo coming on, and that is Gus, of course, and Billy. And their cigars, of course, made at the AJ Fernandez factory. And they're going to be live with us next week on the 10th.
Mm.
But how are you guys feeling about, of course, smoking the cigar and learning about the company and learning about the people? Because, like I say, I've smoked the cigar before, as you guys know. But if you go, you first, how are you feeling about this show coming next week and meeting the guys and, of course, getting to try the Viva La Vida?
Who'd you say?
Yeah, I didn't hear who you said.
You broke up, Gaz.
I said
Matthews.
So I was saying to
Okay.
I was saying to Matthew about, of course, next week's show with Gus and
Yep.
Billy.
Yeah, we got that
smoke,
part.
of course. Viva La Vida.
Yeah. I'm super excited for it because just like every other AJ Fernandez cigar, I expect it's going to be awesome. It looks really nice. It looks very well constructed. I obviously haven't smoked it yet because I only have one, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and of course you can check out the date on our website at www.cigarloons.com. It is on there, the information, of course, when we get live next week with them. But we'll go up to, of course, Jesse. We'll go with now, and then of course we'll go with Grumpy, and then we'll go with Kit. So Jess, how are you feeling about next week's show?
I feel good about the fact of having them on the show. I think it's gonna be great. I just wish that my cigar would get here. It was supposed to be here Saturday. It didn't come Saturday, so of course it's a 3-day weekend. Now here comes Tuesday. I still haven't seen it, so I just hope it gets here by that end.
Heard.
I can see you sitting outside again tomorrow, waiting for the postman coming.
Mm-hmm.
On your rocking chair. Come on, where are you? Where are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna this time I'm gonna be waiting outside
Of
with
course.
my stick.
Yeah. But Grumpy, how are you feeling about next week's show, of course, with the guests that are coming, and of course about the Viva La Vida cigar
Well,
and talking about it?
provided that my search goes well and the postal service don't let me down, because my brick and mortar up there in Dothan don't have it. So, but as long as I can get it
All right.
You know, all will be well. I'll be working on it. I don't know which one I'll get, but
Oh, you know something? No, you know something? It's on, of course, Cigar page, and of course on Neptune, so you can get them on there. And for anyone, of course, who's coming along and watching the show, if you've had, of course, the Viva La Vida, then tell us how you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it or if you didn't enjoy it, and of course, let us know in the comments. But Kate, we'll go to you next. How are you feeling about next week's show, my brother? Of course, with the guests and the cigar.
I am excited. I have the Viva La Vida, and I think I've smoked in the last 3 weeks. I think I've smoked 5 of them. I am loving that cigar, brother. I get this dark, dark black cherry in there, man, and it's. If you haven't smoked it, you're in for a treat. I don't mean to spoil any notes. Not that you'll get that note, but yeah, it's a winner. I've got the Robusto size, and yeah, I'm burning through them here. I love them. Yeah, I'm interested to hear the story behind.
And like I say, of course.
Yep.
That's going to be the thing, Lynn, in the story, Lynn, and of course, how they got with AJ, and of course, made the cigar, and then going into, of course, making the El Polpo, and the El where, of course, the Viva La Vida's got the Jester head, and 2 great cigars from a company that are coming out, and we can't wait sitting down, of course, with Billy and Gus, and that's going to be on the 10th of September. Of course, it's 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific, and of course, midnight in England. But, of course, is there any new cigars, guys, that you've seen on the? Is there any new cigars you've seen on the market that you want to smoke or anything? Because I keep seeing loads of new ones now hitting the UK market. I'm like, wow, I've got to pick them up and smoke them. And of course, the Christoph Vengeance has finally just come onto the UK market, which I'm smoking tonight. And yeah, I'm enjoying the cigar. I've had it before, and I get to visit it again. But of course, Matthew, we'll go with you. How are you feeling? And about new cigars, and is there anything you've seen and you want to try?
Well, that 20th anniversary Christoph you just showed is one of them for sure. There's I can't remember the exact names of these cigars, but I believe there was a newer one from Crowned Heads that's coming out, or that just came out fairly recently. That looks really good. At least according to Neptune, it was new anyway. And I'm still honestly trying to force my hand to make myself go get a Tyson because I want to try it.
Oh yeah.
That's Tyson, and of course, it's not here in the UK at the moment. But yeah, I think if anything, I'm gonna have to try. UK is on my agenda for next. But of course, we'll go over to Kit. What are you looking forward to new cigar wise that's just come out, and what are you looking for to try?
Not anything particularly new. I got to take I got to just step away from a little bit. I've been spending a little bit on some cigars, and I need a breather. So, but I did attend a Placencia event last week at my local shop, Smoky Bear Cigars and Cafe up here in Blue Ridge, and Placencia was there, and they had an event cigar. So, depending on how many cigars you purchased, they gave out so many event cigars, and I got some of the 1898, which used to be on the market in Europe, China, and Japan, but they're phasing it out, and it is not for sale here in the U.S., and they're just saving it only for a event cigar. I don't know if that's because it's limited or what, but I got 4 of them, and I've smoked one of them. I smoked one of them at the event, and I really enjoyed it. It was a good, very, very good cigar. I don't know if anybody else has had it. Anybody in the comments or anybody?
I have. Right. As we know, I've
I
had
know
it.
you've
We've
had
been,
it.
of course, in the UK market before it goes off. But yeah, if anyone else has had it, of course, like Kurt said, put it in the comments. But Jess, what are you looking for to new cigar wise? Because I know, of course, Alec Bradley's just brought out a new, of course, barber pole, and that looks a crazy kind of cigar
Yeah,
that's just come out.
I
Of course, what are you looking forward to trying new
I
cigar
like I
wise?
like all the trying out all the barber poles for whatever reason, but I do. So that's one that I'm definitely gonna have to try out. And
Yeah,
I got a new one coming in once again. Supposed to be here on Saturday, but it's not here. But I got a new one that I haven't tried for myself, which is the Don Kiki brown label barber pole, and I'm excited to try that.
yep,
Haven't tried it, um, and you mentioned Plasencia, and this year being the year of the dragon, I've tried some of the Asian stuff that Punch came out with, the Dragon Fire and the Gurkha Year of the Dragon, um, and being that it's Plasencia, and
yep.
just about everything from Plasencia is delicious. I really want to try that Year of the Dragon. I need to kind of save up for it though, because it's a little up there, but I want to try that.
Yeah, so of course, Alec Bradley's one that he's brought out. Of course, instead of it being the filthy hooligan, it's the filthy ghouligan. So of course, it's got a ghost on it and everything, and it's like ready for Halloween and stuff. But there's a load of new cigars. You know something? We're seeing a lot more, and there's a load I want to try, and it's just hard. Like I say, you look at the market now. I think the market's taken off more, and near enough every other week we're seeing different cigars coming to the market, different companies. I know, of course, Roman Craft. They are bringing out another size in the intemperance line, of course, that I've tried for a recommendation from Grumpy, and I hope that size hits the UK market. But definitely on that Percentia 1898 gate, I think you'll enjoy it. It's more subtle on the notes compared to some of the other cigars that Percentia have done, but you know something, it's not a bad cigar. So can't wait to see what you think of it. But to anyone who's watching us, of course, what cigar are you smoking? And of course, what you're drinking with your cigar tonight? I've got, of course, a bottle of Fanta, and it is pineapple and grapefruit, and it's one that we get over here in the UK, and it's not bad with my cigar. And of course, my ash is holding up very nicely, and we did go over, of course, Ash on Sunday because we were trying, and I know, of course, Greg, one of the guys who joined Cigar Man Tom, his ash was crazy how he held it on until the end, and it just kept going and going and going. And of course, I like a good ash on a cigar. But what's everyone else, of course, drinking tonight with their cigar? So, of course, I know you probably have got coffee or maybe a pip, or are you going to surprise me and it's something different? Oh, he's going to surprise me with something different.
Oh, no, it's coffee.
Black Rifle
Exclusive
Trading
filtered.
Company.
Black
Black Rifle
Rifle.
Trading Company. Well, I do have a pib sitting over here, but we mocha drinking tonight.
You know something? I've never seen that before. So that's a new kind of thing that's opened my eyes up. I know, of course, we have like Starbucks, mocha, and a cannon. Yeah, Starbucks doesn't agree with me at the moment. It keeps giving me
Yeah.
bad indigestion and heartburn every time I have a coffee from there. It does. But of course, Kate, Well, you got
Yeah,
your cigar tonight.
Black
What are you
Rifle.
drinking with your cigar?
If you're not familiar with Black Rifle Company, they're a veteran-owned company, and I think most of their employees are all veterans. They try to hire a lot of veterans. In the last couple of years, they've really taken off. And so this one guy, the story behind it, this one guy was obsessed with coffee, and they'd be at the range shooting and stuff, and he was actually roasting coffee beans, and everybody wanted his coffee. So when he got out of the service, he opened up the Black Rifle Coffee. I'm drinking my usual lately, my Diet Mountain Dew and Jameson Orange. So I'm still working on that bottle. So, hey, I just have I know we're going around, but after we go around for this episode, I know this isn't a rabbit hole episode, but do we have one rabbit hole topic to discuss tonight, just to kind of mix it up, throw it in there?
Hey, pick one.
We can do.
You can always pull one
mix
out.
it up by all means.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pick
pick one.
one, brother.
No, just something, as we go on. I don't want to interrupt the flow of this, but I'm just sitting here thinking, are the Hells Angels really going to Aurora, Colorado?
No,
Yeah, there's one. There's one for you.
no.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. Go on.
Jeez.
Carry
Well,
on. Sorry for the interruption.
Now they would
Here he
be
goes. Look at him sitting up.
they would be going to Colorado for one reason and one reason only, and that is if somebody out there messed with one of their own, they would be going for retribution. And 1% clubs, I don't think they're going to go out there just out of the goodness of their heart. I may be wrong, but I just don't think they're going just for kicks and giggles. If they are, it's like some
I think
other
the
people
Scotland
said they
should
need to
go.
vacate.
We should go and go all out.
The response
Cigar
I
Loons
saw
go.
from
We'll get on our motorbikes and go.
I don't do that, but I did see a response from like an unofficial response, and that was, "We have clubs in Colorado. If someone needs to be there, they'll be there."
Yeah. There's enough chapters in state, man.
I think all those videos are from some bike weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't
They've
think
said
it
that-
has anything
they've
to
said,
do with
haven't they,
that.
Yeah, I know they did say on the news there's basically, if this couldn't be sorted with the Venezuelan gang that's there and doing what they're doing, and of course if the Hells Angels supposedly are going, they can't do nothing, then of course it go over to the military to sort. But I don't know what you guys think on that, about the military getting involved over it, or do you reckon it's easily fixed, of course, with the police force? Couldn't the police force do something about it? So
Police
I don't know what
probably
your
can't do
takes
shit
on
about
that are. I know, of course, Kurt's brought that up. But, of course, let's just go quickly back to Jess and get what Jess is drinking with his cigar tonight, and you, Matthew. And then we can go over that, of course. So, Jess, what are you drinking with your cigar tonight, my bro?
I've had plenty of coffee with this, and sodas and juices, and I've tried it with a lot of different things. But the one thing I hadn't tried it with is with my go-to ale, and so that is what I'm pairing it with today, which is my Irish Death dark ale, and I really love drinking this when I smoke a dark cigar. Um, it just really goes really well with a full body dark cigar.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, hello to Tommy G, which, of course, is Cigar Man Tom.
Hey,
So, good evening, Tom, and welcome, of course.
What's
joining
up,
us
brother?
tonight.
What's up, you old gray goat?
But, Matthew, of course, what What's your drink for tonight? Before we go back onto the topic, of course, of the Hells Angels and Colorado. So, what you got, my brother, tonight?
Well, I have my Ardbeg 10-year again. I'm probably gonna go through this bottle quicker than I want, but yeah, it's nice whiskey, man. It's a really nice whiskey.
Hey up, I think we should get Cigar Man Tom come and join us, and then you both can start drinking again together. And we can get a bit X-rated like we did on Sunday on TikTok.
No. No. Nobody say cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, but yeah. So, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think the Hells Angels are going to get involved, or do you think it's going to be the military, or do you think the police are going to sort it? Because I've seen it, and I've heard different things about it. I've seen, of course, some different news articles that have come out from the States through social media, but I don't know the whole surroundings of it. You've seen it on the news and understand it more. So, of course, let's go on about it, and let's go down that sector for a little bit on the show, of course. So, Kate.
So I saw a press release today, or an article that was the Denver Police Department was quoted in it, and they denied it. They said that this is not happening. They do not know of any Hells Angels groups coming to Colorado, and they said as far as the Venezuelan gang that's taken over this apartment complex, they said that they have no proof that that's happened either. They said they do know that there are gang members living in this apartment complex, but they haven't taken it over. And it was funny today, before I went to work, I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw this video, and it had 1.3 million likes on it. And it was a picture of a bunch of motorcycles, and it said something like, "We're on the way, boys." And I looked at the comments, and one of the first comments was, "Isn't it summertime?" I mean, and I looked at the picture. There were no leaves on the trees. It was a picture of some motorcycle rally in the wintertime, you know.
Yeah.
And all these people were commenting, you know, "Be safe, be careful." And I'm like, it's unbelievable what people will believe without just doing a little bit of research. And it made me laugh. It was,
Yeah.
it was funny.
So, if you see what whiskey you've just put, he's put there is a motorcycle rally in Colorado. So he has put there's one. So, of course, Grump, what do you reckon on the whole of this and what's being said at the moment over it with, of course, the Hells Angels and the police denying it and not knowing if there is a Venezuelan gang there? And what's your point, John, brother? What do you reckon?
Well, in the day and age we live in, I believe if there was something like that going on, we would be seeing lives on TikTok, you know, different stuff like that. We're not seeing, you know, people with personal videos, you know, of anything, you know, drastic and ugly going on. Or I haven't anyway. I can't say they're not out there. I haven't seen any. But as far as the whole Hells Angels thing, man, they ain't got to come in from anywhere. They got chapters in every state. You know, they're already in state, so they don't have to come from anywhere. They're there. You know, so, but like I said, doubtful that they're going to get involved unless somebody messes with one of theirs. You know, they're just not that. This is just not the way it's wired. But
And
I mean, yeah,
if they were going to get involved, they probably wouldn't want it publicized and televised. I mean,
exactly.
as a Hell's Angel, I can't imagine I would want any more attention put on me. You know,
That right there, brother.
So-
That right there. Yes, exactly. But you know, people are going to believe what
So-
people are going to believe. you can't make them. You know, you. Some things are beyond your control. Just smile, wave, and keep on moving.
Right.
Basically, you just said there, the only way a 1% club would get involved is if they messed with a club member to begin with. And that's
Yep.
true.
Yep.
Of course, Matthew, what do you reckon?
There
What
you
do you
go.
reckon? Do you reckon this, if the police aren't sort this, if it's going on, does the military get involved, or do you reckon it's just hearsay and bullshit in the media that media make up, like, of course, many different things that the media make up, or do you reckon it is going on, or what? What's your take on this?
Well, I tell you, if something's actually happening with some Venezuelan gang taking over an apartment building, one, local police aren't going to be able to do squat about it because they're not going to have the firepower. But you know, there's plenty of federal agencies that can come hit them. I don't think that, like Grumpy said, if there was, if that was actually happening, we would be seeing live videos of, you know, people getting drug out of their house, and you know what I mean, just crazy shit, you know,
Yeah.
and I've seen none of that.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's it,
It's
Wilson.
election year. You got to be suspect of every story you see right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jess, what about you, my brother? What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, same thing. You know, those guys aren't getting involved with nothing. You know, uh, reality is half of those guys, you know, probably are looking at their third strike, and they ain't gonna try and touch nothing for no one else. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be so worth it for that club or any motorcycle club to try to get involved with something like this, and it's not worth it. I mean, at the end of the day, all they're looking at is at a bunch of charges, and
Yeah.
that doesn't help the clubs at all.
No, they don't want that smoke.
No, too
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
No, they don't want too much heat on them, do they?
Mm-mm.
They don't. But of course, I don't know if you guys have seen. You know, there's a mention to you guys about the riots here in England, all over England, that we're
Mhm.
having.
Yeah, man.
What do you reckon? Of course, now there's these rioters. You've done it about the prison times that they get. So, of course, yet again, I've seen in the local news here in Stoke-on-Trent, there's another two people who've been, and also a woman's special remarks on X. And when they asked Elon Musk, the paper got in touch with Elon Musk, he went, wow, to the comment. That, of course, was posted. But, of course, they're rallying around now and getting a lot of people. Do you reckon that's a little bit extreme for someone just voicing their opinions on a protest? Or do you reckon, with how the videos coming out and the violence that we're seeing in the videos, do you reckon it's the right way, of course, with what England's done? Because I don't know how it is in the States. I don't know if, of course, you go back in the States and basically you serve a jail time, or, of course, you have to pay for the damage. I don't know. But here, starting, of course, to arrest people and put people in prison for it. So how is it, of course, in the States if something like that happens compared to how it happens here in the UK? So this is open to, of course, you, my brothers.
It really depends on the state you live in.
Yeah, and I
Actually,
think. Go ahead, Grumpy.
no, I mean, I was just going to say it doesn't matter what state you're living in. What he's describing is you know, that's First Amendment rights violations. I mean, I know we have the whole you can't shout fire in a crowded building thing and all that, you know, but my big thing is always, see, I come up in that generation, and I know it's crazy, but the news media had a responsibility to report some resemblance of truth to you. I think it was Obama or somebody that signed something that took that where they didn't have to tell you the truth no more. So that just screwed the media up as far
Right.
as getting the news from them. But I mean, it's crazy. It's just what do you believe?
Yeah, it appears that your
Mm.
your justice system over there, Gaz, is a little bit swifter and moves a little faster than ours.
It is
But
different, yes.
but you don't know. I mean, like you have no idea what to believe, and I mean, basically, we get fed what they want us
Hmm.
to know and hear,
Hmm.
and it is what it is, and you just
It's a
got to be
it's sad, but that's the
suspect
truth.
Yep.
You know
suspect of everything that you see. Yep.
Yeah, it
exactly,
is.
man.
Yep.
What they're trying to do, they're trying to say it's because of when we had our vote, of course, and we had our prime minister, and of course you guys have got your vote coming up in November, of course, choosing president. What they said here is because the Labour Party have now got in power, this is all down to Labour, why it's, of course, booted off and everyone's rioting. Well, we didn't have it, of course, when the Tories were in. But in my eyes, all MPs, from Tories to Conservative, the Tories like Conservative, Labour, the Lib Dems, Scottish Power, any of them, don't all MPs piss in the same fucking pot? They all
Yeah.
spiel the same bullshit. They're going to change taxes and put wages up and all the rest. Don't they all piss in the same fucking pot? This could happen at any time. And of course, as you guys know, here, our police force are a little bit more brutal. And it's guilty before proven innocent over here in the UK. Which, yeah, you guys know, of course, when I
Yeah.
talk to you about different things over here. But
Oh,
you're
yeah.
especially over yours, you've got to have the evidence to prove that they're guilty. And it's innocent until proven guilty over in the United States. Here, it's guilty until you're proven innocent. And it's just fucking crazy here. And this is the thing, of course, when we talk and when we sit on Discord or, of course, tonight and we talk. The differences yet again in England and, of course, the States. No wonder you guys fucked the English off and got rid of us because we're all fucking crazy with what's going on. It's just stupid with everything that's happening here. And do you reckon anything is going to kick off over the States, of course? Especially, I know we don't talk about politics. It's just something that I want to bring up. Do you reckon it's going to kick off if Trump becomes president again? Do you reckon there'll be rioting, or do you reckon
Oh,
it'll just be? What do you guys reckon?
I think
mean,
I
probably.
don't care which way it goes. It could be Kamala. It could be Trump. It doesn't matter. I think that at this point, the people in this country are so, I want to say, brainwashed in a certain way that and not everybody, but a lot of them are to a point to where they go from being a you know political party supporter to just this what's the word? Not a I want to say aficionado, but
Fanatic.
a fanatic. Yeah, they become this fanatic, and once they go past that threshold of I support my party or I'm a fanatic, it changes. And there's a lot of people nowadays that's really what they are. They're fanatics, and they don't really care to hear good or bad or anything from any angle. It's just you know whatever, yay Kamala or yay Trump or and I don't know. Nobody tries to educate themselves anymore on their choices, and it's pretty sad.
Yeah. Okay.
I've
What
never
about you, kids? How
I
do you
have
feel about
never
this?
seen I've never seen our country more divided. And I mean,
Yeah.
Something's going to happen either way. The only thing I know for sure, and it makes me angry, is the price of my favorite ribeye at the grocery store has more than doubled in the last year and a half, and it makes me angry every time I go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Yes, sir.
it's ridiculous. It's crazy.
It
You
is.
know, I get mad every time I go to the grocery store and anything is different. Like one time I go there and there's no eggs, 0 eggs. I'm like, I know we got chickens, like, you know,
Yeah, I can
and then
attest to
what's
that.
the latest?
Yeah.
And the latest thing, at least for us here, is that we haven't had much milk or bread. It's like the milk and bread is just scars nowadays, and it's just like bro, I know we have cows, like like where is this stuff going? What's happening?
Yeah, that's a good
That's
question.
that's the first time I've heard of that, especially because like meat going up, and then like Jesse's just brought up the UK, our milk's gone up, of course our bread's gone up, our groceries have gone up.
Hmm.
But like I said to you guys, when we were in the European Union, we were getting a lot of our stuff from France, Germany, Spain. Now, of course, we've left. It's been grown in the UK, and of course, if we don't have a great summer season, a lot of that food, like potatoes, carrots, and different things, ain't going to go very good. Now, if we have a great summer, of course we've got it. But anything brought now in is super dear, and it's crazy. And I always remember the fact of when we were coming, and when, of course, Trump first became president, and the whole thing, of course, doing business with England and doing business with the States, a metal price, because of course JCB, one of the biggest, largest, like mini diggers and different things over here, they were buying steel from the United States, and eventually they had to cut that deal and start buying steel again from places like India and of course over in China, Japan, and it'd take forever to come. Now, do you reckon there's our trade agreements that you've got with the United Kingdom, of course, what the United Kingdom have got with the United States? Do you reckon they are still good and tied down, or do you reckon there's going to be more new politics brought in place with England and different things? Because, of course, it changes all the time with what these different people say. Like, I'm not going to ask you voting for. Not because I wouldn't anyway. Like, you guys never asked me who I was voting for. But I think if it was me in the States, I think of what Trump originally did for you guys and how he helped the country a little bit more from what I was seeing through social media. If I had just come to the States and, of course, I could vote, I think I'd go down that line to voting for Trump. And that's my opinion. That's my take on stuff. But, of course, what do you guys reckon about all these trade agreements and all the rest that we've got and doing business? Do you reckon that's still all good, or do you reckon it's going to change now? Of course, we've got a different new system here in the UK. We've got a new Prime Minister. It's not like, of course, when Trump was originally in and we had the Prime Minister that we had. This is a whole new Prime Minister, whole new different set of games. What do you reckon on that?
Well,
Of course, Grump,
it,
we'll go with you first. What do you reckon on that? Or Matthew, whoever.
Well, the honest thing here for me, I have to look at this. I mean, you know, take all the nonsense away. You know, this country has to function like a business, whether we like it or not. You know, the basics has to function business wise. So you have to ask yourself, do you want somebody, you know, flying the plane that has some knowledge about business and how to negotiate deals, and how to make sure that everybody's paying their fair share. Do you want somebody like that flying the plane, or do you want a bunch of people flying the plane that don't even know where the cockpit is? I mean, it's about that clear. When Trump was in there, you don't want to play fair. Okay, fine. Well, we just put tariffs on your junk when it comes in here. You know, you guys want our protection over there in the NATO hole? Pay up. We'll be there when you pay us.
Yep.
I mean, you want somebody that's going to step in there and say, look, this is the way it's going to be. And right now, we don't have that, and there's only one way you're going to get it back.
Mhm.
And that's the way I look at it, for the betterment of the whole
What's everyone
country,
else's take?
for everybody.
Well, as far as foreign relations go, I can't say that I know a ton about it. So, I know that you grease the wheels that are benefiting you typically, and that's kind of the way I feel like it should work. I really just hate politics in general. So I try to avoid
Yep.
thinking about it too much. I guess that's my take.
Well, Whiskey you just asked. Of course, Grumpy a question. Grumpy, do you believe this Project 2025 stuff?
Oh, let's just say Project
That's Whiskey Chief's question
2025.
to you, Grumpy.
It's a thing, to 2025 is a thing, but it ain't Trump's thing. That's some of that media nonsense. That's coming out of a think tank. Trump's already, he's already disowned that. Project 47 or Agenda 47, whatever it is, those are the things that Trump was trying to get out. And that 2025, they want you to think that's a Trump thing, but it's not. It's a bunch of nonsense. Just my opinion, for entertainment purposes only, because I don't know what I'm talking about. Wink, wink.
Yeah. No. But Kate, what's your kind of take on this? And of course, we always say we're never going to talk politics, and this isn't really talking about politics. It's just, of course, the general different things of what's happening in the States, and like, of course, what's happening in England. And what's your take on it?
Well, first of all, I feel like I needed to give you all a public apology here. I did not mean to derail the whole show, take us down the rabbit hole. I was thinking like maybe one rabbit hole topic, but
Here we
better
are.
than this bunch.
Halfway to
Thanks, Kurt.
Wonderland.
Now,
but as far as the UK, I think our relationship with you is I think that's the least of our problems. I mean, I don't think that it's really that whatever comes of whoever's in charge over there with you and whoever's going to be in charge with us, they'll come together and work it out. We've had, but I don't. So I don't think that's really a big deal. I think we got bigger fish to fry. As far as our country is, I mean, it's crazy.
Yep. Yeah. And Jess, what about you, bro? What's your take?
oh man, the relations that the U.S. has with so many countries. Oh man, I feel like ever since Biden came in, there's so much stuff that so much stuff that got put into place that was so positive that it Biden just took it and just flushed it down the toilet. I mean, people could say whatever they want to say about Trump,
Yeah.
and I really personally don't care. Everybody's got dirt on somebody. No one's perfect. Everybody's got ghosts in their closet. And
Oh yeah.
the only thing that I can see is whatever he did. And when he was on, relations were great. He was making great progress with a lot of countries that the US hadn't even thought of doing relations with in decades. And right now with Biden, everything else went to shit. And then we went to having then issues with Mexico, which they're a huge uh contributor to the U.S. trade. And as of recently, what was it, like sometime last week or this beginning of this week or something, Mexico paused trade with the U.S. Um, and
Jeez.
there was a lot of other things about the U.S. wanting to go to Mexico because Mexico found lithium, a big deposit of lithium, and Mexico was just like, nope, you're not coming in here. And I don't know, I feel like there's
Mhm.
so much going on between everyone right now: Russia, China, North Korea, Mexico. There's so much
Yeah.
crap going on right now that nobody's doing anything about it. You don't really see anybody doing anything about it. And if this was happening when Trump was on, I feel like he would have been like, "Hey, hey, 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 calm down. Let's go talk, or let's go deal with it." You know. And I feel like that's the way it should be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know.
I
Here's
will say,
another. Go on, Kurt. Go on.
I'll say one thing to just kind of put my final thought in on this before we wrap this portion of the segment of the show up. No matter what side you're on, everyone is entitled to their opinion, to
Yep.
peacefully
Yes.
put that out there, to debate. But when it resorts to violence and trying to hurt someone, that's when the line needs to be drawn. And it
Yes.
is it's a scary time right now,
It
really
really
over
is.
here. And
Oh
so
yeah.
that's all
Yeah.
I got to say. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone's entitled to debate peacefully and talk about issues. But my goodness, I mean, it's out of control. So that's all I
Yeah.
got to
It
say.
really is.
Well, that's what we've. Yeah. Well, that's what we've just done. We just had, of course, a peaceful debate, and it is a crazy time no matter where you are. Like if the states, of course, here in England, I never thought in a million years there's the shit what we've just seen over the last couple of months would happen here in the UK. But
Yeah.
of course, let's go down. Let's get in a different rabbit hole. Do you
Oh
reckon
boy.
these you guys?
Mhm.
Do you guys reckon is you ever going to get the chance? Of course, this Cuban cigars might come back to the United States, and you'd have the privilege, of course, of smoking Cubans. Do you reckon that embargo is ever going to be lifted? Because of course, this embargo has been going on now ever since JFK, and of course there was laws being brought in. This it might have got lifted, then of course it didn't. And I know to you guys, it's one of them cigars that is like a rare diamond that you've got to try just the once. So do you
Exactly.
reckon that it's ever going to change where Cubans are going to become back onto the marketing and be able to smoke Cubans? What's your point on that? Because as you guys know, I like the odd Cuban now and again. I can get them here. I think if we ever went into that where Cubans were taken off the English market, geez, a lot of people stop smoking cigars.
Mhm.
So what's your guys' take on this? Do you reckon there's Cubans are ever going to come back into the States and be able to smoke a Cuban cigar, or do you reckon it's just going to carry on with the embargo for so long? What do you guys? What you like? I say, what's your take on this? With that subject?
Well,
My take has always been I don't expect it to happen until something changes in Cuba. Um, just because I know there's a lot of people that have very strong opinions about how they do things over there. But I mean, I would love to see it just because I'd like to get my hands on a couple just to see if it's worth the hype. But other than that, you know, uh, I really don't see it happening anytime soon.
well, I don't
Yeah, I
know
don't
that it
see
would
it happening.
happen anytime.
What about you?
Yeah, I don't
I
know
know,
that it
of
happened
course.
anytime soon. Direct with Cuba, but I mean, there's always possibilities of other channels. You know, doing import and trade, open import and trade of Cuban cigars. Through other countries. I mean,
Not me. Not me. Not me. Not me. Don't get an idea, me. Don't get an idea, Grump. I
ain't
can see
no
what's working.
brother.
I know I can get, but come on,
Hey,
my brother.
your prices, brother. There ain't nobody talking to you about cigars. Yeah. Do I look like I'm made of gold? I mean, come on now. But I could see it happening, just maybe not direct connection with Cuba. I just, for some reason, just like Matthew said, man, people's views on things, the stubbornness and stuff like that. But the sad part about it is, what we put up with the same kind of human rights garbage from other countries, and we still got a buttload of their stuff in here, buying it every day.
Yep. Of
So,
course, Kurt. We'll go up to you next. Because I know you
Yeah,
have
I don't.
smoked a Cuban cigar. I know you have smoked one before. And do you reckon this is a rare diamond for one? And do you reckon, of course, they do come back to the United States? What's your take, of course, with this?
I mean, it's been so many years since I've smoked one, and back when I did smoke one, I wasn't really into cigars as much as I am now. So, I don't know. It may be, it would be nice to revisit it, but I don't think it's on anybody's radar. So it's been what 60, 64 years, or it's been a long time. So let's say you're
yeah, something
21
like that.
before you could smoke a cigar. Add another 60 years to that. So if you're smoking cigars and you remember that before the embargo, you'd have to be in what, your 80s. So I think it's like a
Mm,
generation, a whole new generation has come through, and I
Yeah,
don't think it's on a lot of people's radar or mission to make that happen. I think it's just something that we've kind of accepted, and I don't think it's I don't see it happening anytime soon, but who knows? You never know.
yeah. Well, yeah, whiskey.
yeah.
That's pretty
I know
much.
Whiskey Juice
Yeah,
put their comment. Yeah. And then Whiskey Tube did write again, of course, what they wanted that on to the rest of the
they
comment.
they would.
And they put sales would drop off fast off Cubans. Hmm.
Yep.
But Jess, what's your take on this, of course, with the whole Cuban thing, and if it would come back to the States?
You know, not trying to go back to the political crap, but the only way I see any trade ever happening again with Cuba, it would be if Cuba ever stopped being an ally of Russia. That's it. As long as they're still
Yeah, true.
an ally of
Very true.
Russia, the U.S. is not going to want to do a damn thing with them.
Well, here's one for you. So, of course, we know you can get, of course, non-Cubans, the Monte Cristo, the Punches, of course,
Mhm.
the Cahira, and different ones. Do you reckon there's them companies could go to the Cuban companies and say, look, of course it's been lifted, and do a way of getting the cigars in that way and bringing the Cubans in through them companies, not just having the Cuban companies bringing them themselves. Because as you guys know, when you've got a name like Cohiba, Punch, and different ones, that non-Cubans, I'm sure, as if Trump ever said, okay, we'll lift it and we'll start, of course, bringing Cubans back into the country, but we're going to do no more as it could come through that way, through the companies, while I'm doing it. What's your point on that one? So,
If it happened,
I'll go with you first on this.
if it happened, go ahead, Kurt. Go ahead.
No, I'm like I say, I'm still like, I, I just don't know how much popularity it is behind it. Like Whiskey Tube said, yeah, everybody's gonna want to try one, but and just from what we know and what we've heard in
Exactly.
our education through, of just people we've had on the podcast, they're just, you've only got so much soil down there, and they're just trying to produce so many cigars, and they're just burning it out. And I don't think that they're producing the same quality cigar that they did pre-embargo. There's no way they can, because they're not rotating the crops, all that, So I don't think it would be that big of an incentive for someone to do that. I may be wrong, but that's just what I think.
I think it's pretty much, it's pretty much like Whiskey called it. It's gonna be a dumpster fire to start with, because everybody's just got to have one. Got to have one. Got to have one. And then once they find out, the little nuggets that we already know, and that the popularity just is out the window then, because they understand why they taste the way they do. And it'd be just like he
Yeah.
said, that's where the popularity starts falling off. Then sales start going down. The new wore off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, like you guys know, of course, you've only got to look at the interview we did. Michelito, of course, being from Cuba. Of course, when we had to look through you with John with us and the stuff he told us, and of course what Michelito told us. And you've got to look at that information. And it's been known here for years with Cubans. They're all the same cigar, just a different band. And it was a conversation I had with Sam, of course, our sponsor. And he's like, oh, no, they're not. They're all different. I get different tastes all the time from them. But when I've sat with a Cohiba, a Punch, a Romeo and Juliet, it's the same taste in the cigar. And like you brought up, Kurt, that rotation in crops isn't there. Like we get, of course, with New World cigars from like Arturo Fuente, of course, Christoph, and different ones that we smoke. They rotate the crop. So, of course, you're getting that different nuance in the notes of the cigar. Where in Cuba, it's just tobacco after tobacco after tobacco after tobacco.
Same seed.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
a different, yeah, of course. We'll go with Matthew's take on this, and if they could come from about these different kind of countries making, of course, tobacco, like Cameroon, of course, Gotland, and of course, Sweden. Then, of course, you've got tobacco being made in Ireland. So we'll go with Matthew's take on the Cubans, and then we'll go down with that. And I think then we'll be coming up to near enough a wrap on the show. But, of course, Matthew.
Yeah. So, I think it would be smart to involve the companies that are already in the States, because they would be able to distribute well and easily. But at the same time, like you said, it's all basically the same. Sure, like if they mess with, exactly how it's rolled or exactly how it's blended, sure, you're going to get some different notes, but it's generally the same flavor profile, right? So I just don't see it becoming anywhere near as popular as the New World cigars are here, because us New World smokers, we tend to like a variety of things, and we also like our cigars a lot stronger for the most part. It seems like. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I could really ever get into like a real rotation of smoking Cubans, just for the fact that they don't make the kind of cigar that I love. They're all mild to medium from what I can understand.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
So of course, yeah, yeah, that's that one. Now, of course, these different countries, of course, making tobacco that I mentioned, like Ireland, Switzerland, of course, Cameroon. What do you reckon on that? Do you reckon there's an all Irish blended cigar take off in the States? I know, of course, Cameroonians taking over, and they are really selling. Gokland tobacco, it's a different kind of taste. And where Gokland is, it's right next to the sea. And of course, it's Nicaraguan tobacco that's grown in Gokland from the seeds. And you get a lot of like sea salt to it, sea salty
Yeah.
taste, which is very sharp.
Yeah.
You still get that pepper. Now, of course, it's made. And there's superb cigars from Gokland. But do you reckon there's any of that would take off in the States with, of course, different tobacco coming around? I know, of course, when we've spoken to Jess about Costa Rica, I've got one cigar here that's made in Costa Rica that I've never tried, and I can't wait to try that. Of course, look, if these other different countries now, like Haiti, they've started growing tobacco. Of course, Puerto Rico, and of course, we're talking to Jess. They are slowly making tobacco and coming out with cigars. So, do you reckon
Mm-hmm.
there's these other countries would sell cigars in the States, and would they take over and be a regular seller? So, Kit, I'm going to go you first on that topic. So, what do you reckon,
I
really?
I'm not sure. There's so much.
I
Uh,
think it's a.
uh,
Go ahead, Jesse.
yeah, there's so much tobacco out there, so many strains, so many countries. And when you were talking about Puerto Rican tobacco, uh, Puerto Rico has what they call Nicotina tabacum, which is a tobacco strain that is grown in the mountains. Um, but it doesn't. You don't hear it anywhere. You don't really hear about people smoking a cigar from Puerto Rico or stuff like that. Um, I think that any country that has a good quality tobacco can make it in the industry if it is that good quality tobacco. Um, but at the same time, I feel like they're gonna need to want to do it. And there goes another one.
Yeah.
Sorry, small
So, Kit,
town here, the
of course, we'll go
hospital.
back again. And
It's all helicopters.
yeah, and Kit, what was your take on that, my brother?
Um, for me, I think it's a good thing. Like one of my favorite cigars by Crown Heads, that's in my top 5, has Costa Rican tobacco in it. So I think, and I feel like you have and it's about the region. So it's about the soil and the environment that seed is grown in. There's a lot of the same seeds, but where you put it, that's what's going to give you the taste of it. And I think it's very good that we and I think a lot of these companies are searching for that next big thing, that holy grail that's going to make the cigar, make this fabulous cigar. So I think it's a good thing. I like to see other countries, and I like to try other countries. Like I said, that Crown Heads, that La Patistia that I love. I absolutely love that cigar, and it's got Costa Rican tobacco in it. So that's my first experience with it. But I hopefully we'll start to see more of that. Like you mentioned, the Gauquelin tobacco with the sea salt taste. I mean, that to me, that I would like to, sample that and enjoy it, and it just makes you more worldly and opens up your palate, be able to taste different things. So I think as we go on, hopefully we'll see more of that, and as companies grow and start experimenting with things. Because, yeah, you can take a cigar and you can put all these different tobaccos in, but at the end of the day, how many more times can you do that to come up with something new? I mean, there's a lot you can do, by putting stuff in, but by adding just another tobacco from an obscure country that's not historically known for it, it's inviting to me.
Matthew, what about you, bro?
Yeah, I'm super excited to try any tobacco from any place. Really, um, I've enjoyed cigars from every region that I've found cigars that are made from. There's no like, I haven't tried one that I'm like, oh, I won't try anything from that country again because that was weird or anything. So
Mhm.
yeah, I would love to try. I would love to try tobacco. There's Florida tobacco that I've never tried a cigar from. There's Virginia tobacco that I've only had maybe one or two that have that. Um, I don't
Yep.
know if they grow tobacco in Canada, but I'd smoke one if it was made with tobacco from Canada. I don't know. I just I think I would try whatever. I've got no fear of trying tobaccos from around the world.
Yep. And if it came from Canada, you'd probably get a maple taste in it. But Grump, your take, and then I'll just go over where you can get. I'll go over where you can get some of these different cigars with this tobacco in the cigars. Of course,
Grumpy,
Grump, your take on this, my bro.
Grumpy, you go, and then I wanna just after Grumpy, I wanna just mention one cigar. Go ahead.
Uh, I'm like I'm like Matthew and them guys. Man, I'm always open to trying the new stuff. I mean, I love the Cameroons. Uh, it's not everybody's cup of tea. I understand that. The Modafina uh leaf, that's not everybody's cup of tea, but I like that one too. But I think it would be interesting from both fronts, um, to get like these different countries, not only not only to integrate their tobaccos into some blends with some other new world stuff to create some new interesting things there. But I would even be interested, in trying a puro, from these new countries that are looking to come online, with the tobaccos that they're growing. That always interests me too. To try one that's a puro. Everything is from that country. To get a good grip on what they've got going on. But I believe it would. I believe it would add a little zing to the whole to the whole show to start integrating these other countries into some of the current blends. Plus, get them out there on their own. The more the merrier. You know,
Yeah,
always
of
looking
course.
for
We'll
new
go back
stuff.
up to Jess. Yeah, we'll go back up to Jess, and Jess is going to
No,
tell us about the
you know,
cigar.
I,
But go
I
on,
just
Jess.
wanted to I just wanted to mention this cigar that I'm going to be receiving here soon. Um, and I'm excited for it because of where all the tobacco is coming from, and that is the egg from Drew State, and it's a 5.5 inch long cigar that goes from you know a tip to a I don't know. It's probably about 80,
Yeah, a
80 to
baseball.
90 in the middle. And it's a crazy shape. It's a big cigar. But the thing that really interested me about it is the tobacco where it comes from. Because it's got tobacco from Syria, it's got tobacco from Turkey, from Haiti. Dominican Republic, you know, and this is a completely different blend of tobaccos from different regions that you don't normally get to try together. And you know, I'm excited to try that. You know, I mean, I never even knew Syria and Turkey produced, tobacco until I started looking into the Drew Estate egg. You know.
Yep. And Turkey, you've got some great cigars. I know, of course, my friend came back, Ian. He brought me 2 cigars back from Turkey, and they were a different kind of cigar. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed them. The taste was a little bit hot than what you get from a New World. But Grump, if you want to try an all Cameroonian cigar, Puro, then go and check out, of course, Banff and ROCF. It managed to do a full Puro of Cameroon. So, of course, the binder, the wrapper, and the filler. He's also got the Transylvanian cigar that comes in a coffin, and he got the tobacco from Transylvania. He's also got the Irishman, which is, of course, the Irish tobacco in a cigar. So they are out there in the States, and you can get them, of course, from ROCF or Banff Cigars. I think they range anywhere from about $18 up to maybe $25 a cigar. But he has got them. And, of course, he does live out in Florida. He does ship out over, of course, America. And I do believe there's some of the cigar lounges out in the States also have his cigars in there. And you look at most of the Cameroonian tobacco, what's coming to the States and what, of course, Arturo Fuente uses, it comes from the Merifel family. So, of course, Jeremiah Merifel, his father was friends with Carl. Of course, Jeremiah does a show with, of course, Jose Blanco. And, of course, we know Melanie, who's been on. And, of course, that's another great show to check out. And, you know something, it's out there. But one last one for you. Do you reckon we're in another cigar boom? Do you reckon we're in another cigar boom? And do you reckon it's the boutique boom that we're in now? So, Kurt, what's your take on that one?
That is a very interesting question. I don't, from our perspective and our small little bubble here, I would say yes, but going to the limited shops that I go up to in my area here, I don't think so. But I know, I mean, that's been a passion of ours. And so from that perspective, yes, but I don't know. It's that's a very good question. And I'd be interested to see what the other guys say.
Grumpy, what's your take on that? Do you reckon we're in a new cigar boom and it's all, of course, boutique?
Like Kurt said, from our inside view, guess we talk to the people that we communicate with, the circles that we seem to travel in. There seems to be a lot of interest in boutique cigars, but like I said, I can go to my brick and mortar up here, and yeah, there's some interest there, but the main thing, they're talking more, they're talking more of the big names. I mean, of course, foundation stuff like that. They carrying a bunch of those and all, but some of the ones that we've been in contact with that are virtually unheard of. Everybody's got a desire to want to get out there. So from our perspective and where we're sitting, we see all these makers, these artisan makers and stuff. We see all of them, digging and clawing and trying to get their way up there and trying to get their product out there. We see that from our perspective, but then again, when you go up and you get the 30,000-foot view of everything looking down, I'm not sure that it's quite caught the fire yet that it may catch. I don't think it's quite there yet.
Matthew, what's your take?
Well, I kind of hope so because I really enjoy the boutique cigars. Um, but at the same time, I don't know if that's a mess I want to deal with. I've been, I've been dealing with the bourbon boom for a while, and I've had to go chase bottles really hard, and I don't know if I want to do that with cigars. But I guess but at the same time, I want these people that we know, that we've talked to, that we've uh, brought into our family. I really want them to be super successful. So it's sort of a double-edged sword there, you know.
Yep. And Jess, what about your take on it?
I think that I don't really think that we're in a boom. I think that the boutique companies are definitely on a rise. Um, and I think that once we, I don't want to say this in a way that's gonna sound horrible, but once the old timers, I guess, that really are into exactly the one cigar they like and stuff like that. I think once that passes and it's just the newer generation of cigar smokers, I think that there can be a boutique boom. Right now, no. Right now I think we're just like they're on the rise, and they're doing great, and I can't wait to see what else comes out from the boutique side. Um, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
To me, we've been in a boutique boom for the last 3 years, and it's still going on. More boutique cigar companies going up every different week with a different cigar. And I've spoken to different people, and we are in a boutique boom. It's taken off. And we are in the midst of it now. And it is getting popular because there is a lot more newer cigars that are coming out. And you're seeing there's the Liquor Foundation, of course, just brought out another new cigar. Sinistro have just brought out another two cigars that are brand new. Tatuaje brought out Monster Match again. You're seeing a lot more cigar companies where they are making more and more cigars. Black Label Trading Company, for instance, making some newer cigars, like the Paper Green and different ones. We're definitely in that boom. And you guys are fortunate enough that you've got this. What we're seeing now is some of the older lines that you guys have had. We're slowly getting them in and getting the newer ones in. Like I say, the Christoph Vengeance that I'm smoking tonight, that's just come to the UK market. The Vensetti, the 20th anniversary stuff, that's just come to the United Kingdom. That came out to PCA in 2024. We've seen a lot more EP Carrillo cigars, more new cigars like Rocky Patel, the Eagle. That boom, and it's taking off here, and especially PCA. It's just going to get popular and popular and popular, and we're going to see more. And of course, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the other guests that we've got coming. And of course, like we said, next week on the 10th of September, we've got Gus and Billy. And of course, they make the Villa Vida with AJ Fernandez. They make the Al Popo with AJ. And they are our guests next week. So we will be live on Tuesday. It's 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. And of course, if you're in the United Kingdom, it's going to be our regular time of midnight. But of course, please go check out our website, cigarloons.com. Very nice, Jess. And go on Cigar Page.
Finally came
and
in.
get some cigars through Cigar Page. Like our sponsors. And of course, you've got a direct link from our website straight through to them. You can grab yourself some fantastic cigars from our sponsors like Cigar Page, Famous Cigars. If you want to use, of course, online cigars up in Switzerland, they're on there. And of course, if you're in the UK and you're looking for a cigar shop that does sell Cubans and New Worlds, then go visit GQ and hit Sam up and see the Cigar Loons have recommended you. We appreciate all the love and the support. And if you want to grab yourself a Cigar Loons t-shirt, like the one I'm rocking out in tonight, of course, you can go on to Amazon on our website and it will take you straight to our Cigar Loons merch. And of course, you can go and grab yourself a great t-shirt. And we do appreciate that. Every t-shirt that's sold, it goes back into the podcast and, of course, our website. And we can carry on bringing these fantastic guests and bringing this information out to you. So we hope you've enjoyed, of course, tonight's show, which is the back porch / going down the rabbit hole / wherever we went.
Whatever that
Another
was.
crazy one tonight. But we, yeah, but we do hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for staying this hour and 41 minutes with us. But of course, that's enough of us bullshitting and talking. And we'll catch you on the next one. So, of course, we all know how it goes around. We're all going to say the sayings. So stay smoky. Of course, Matthew.
Don't start none, won't be none.
Jesse.
Keep them lit, everybody.
Of course, Kurt.
Smoke them if you got them, and look forward to seeing you next week with our special guest.
And Grumpy. You know you say, my brother.
And if Jesus ain't driving your bus, get it over to the curb, get your butt out the driver's seat. Let Jesus take the wheel. Catch us next time.
We'll see you next week. The most. Good night.
From the depths of the internet, a podcast did arise. A trio of loons with cigars in their eyes. They've invaded the world with their smoky surprise. The Cigar Loons, they're oh so wise. Lunatic invaders of the cigar world, spreading smoke and laughter, their stories unfold. From the finest lips to the wildest tales, the Cigar Loons never fail to prevail. With their witty banter and infectious glee, they've captured hearts, you see. They're more than just smokers, they're a family, united by cigars, a brotherhood free. Invaders of the cigar world, spreading smoke and laughter, their stories unfold. From the finest lips to the wildest tales, the Cigar Loons never fail to prevail. They've got the knowledge, the passion, the flair, a podcast powerhouse beyond compare. So light up a stogie and join the affair. The Cigar Loons are always there. Lunatic invaders of the cigar world, spreading smoke